We are in complete and total FU mode today. I love my child very much, but sometimes she can be a real pain in the butt to get to bed. I think everyone out there with kids knows what I'm talking about. It's Poker Bob. We're on ACR. You might be wondering, why is this entitled A Farewell to ACR? Well, I don't know yet. I only have 13 bucks left in my account, and I don't know if I'm going to reload. I find the site to be very exciting and overall a good time, but it's difficult to find a lot of good tournaments or any good tournaments that really fit my schedule. This is one of the only ones that kind of does. This is the $2.50 PKO Turbo, 300 guaranteed. The late reg period still has about 2 hours to go, which is after 10 o'clock. And on a Friday night, not a huge deal. But throughout the week, it can get kind of late. And I know I've probably talked about this before, but I kind of went into this thinking, all right, I was thinking, I like the PKO format. Or actually, I'll backtrack for a second. I've just recently gotten into PKOs, and it's because I was of the mindset that if I enter a tournament that might start late or have a long late reg period or has a high guarantee, so it gets a lot of players, I would play that PKO and really just kind of focus on ripping it for bounties. And if I have to, push if I have to push my chips in as it's getting to be 11 o'clock because I got to go to bed, if I've already got a few bounties, then that's cool because I've won some money and we can kind of keep going that way. And maybe I don't make it all the way to the end because it's getting late, but no big deal. I've made some money, which is kind of tough to. It's kind of tough to make money in the long run that way, especially in PKOs, because really it's at that late stages, final table, where that's where you get the biggest bounties, and you can make, you can obviously, get paid out of the prize pool. So I kind of just stopped. I played for a couple weeks. I played this almost every night, and did pretty well. But it was just not. It was. It's tough to. It's tough when going in that you have to like sign off at a certain time. It's tough to really focus on it and stay disciplined. And it's frustrating when you got to just like dump all the chips in and it's like, all right, well, it's bedtime. So I've lost a little bit of confidence. I've also lost money on the site dabbling in cash poker, which I keep telling myself not to do. Is King Jack of Hearts a 3-bet if it gets back to us? I don't think so. I think we can just kind of see a flop, keep our range wide, and we did not get the flop we wanted. I mean, that said, this is a fun tournament. The problem for me is I want to start playing bigger than micros. Like $11 would be great, but they don't have a PKO. They don't have an $11 PKO in the primetime hour or hours. They have one that starts at 4:15, which would be awesome if I didn't have a wife. I'm not saying it that way. It would be awesome if I was young and single and got out of work at 4:15 and just turn around and boom, jump right into a PKO. Because these tournaments last about well, this is interesting. A min click and a 3-bet to 5, and we've got queens, and I think we gotta make it pretty big here. A call. Oh, that's interesting. Two calls, and we flop top set. Um, I don't think we need to necessarily rip it, but I think we can actually kind of check our top set. There's a we got to get it in here. There's draws out there. We don't have the nuts, but we are pretty darn close to it. Yeah, obviously we're ripping it here. We might be up against aces. That has to be it, right? Oh, we are in such fantastic shape. We get a bounty out of the gate, and we have almost 300 bigs. Let's go. We're here for blood today. Let's make this happen. Top set queens. Wow, we were up against some absolute trash. We had I could see it with the tens. King nine, I don't understand that one. Tens, yeah, you got the gut shot. He's probably thinking if I have aces or kings that the two tens are an out as well. And I checked the flop on a draw heavy board, so a rip there, a pot size jam is, I guess, defensible. So we got one bounty out of that. That's too bad, but we have tons and tons of chips. We obviously haven't gotten the update yet, but we should be in the top. Yeah, we're 1 out of 26 at this point. All right, so let's keep it going. So yeah, ACR. I mean, who knows? If we do well in this one, these tournaments usually last about 4.5 hours, so it's gonna go hopefully to midnight for us. But I mean, hey, we've made some money. We've collected chips early before and not even hit the money. It could, a lot of things could go a lot of different directions. So let's just play good poker. So yeah, that $11 that $11 turbo PKO turbo that starts at 11:15. Sorry, that starts at 4:15 every afternoon would be cool. But my schedule doesn't allow that. I suppose there could be some nights where I do kind of like go after that. I think. But the thing is, like, so I got a kid, and she is gorgeous. She is wonderful. I love her to death. I really do. Tonight's episodes between us notwithstanding, a little bit of yelling, a little bit of negotiating to get her to brush her teeth and go to bed, especially after really not just having cheese, popcorn, and a pudding pop for dinner. But, what are you going to do? So, I guess what I was saying, I can't just, there could be nights, like I usually go out and play poker once a week live. I was thinking about maybe like switching that to like leaving the house to go to a local coffee shop or the mall or somewhere with Wi-Fi and just like bringing the laptop and going on and playing something that starts at 5 in the afternoon. Of course, the Turbo PKO that starts at 4:15. I get out of work at 4:15, so by the time I get somewhere like Panera, we'll say, and get settled and hook onto the Wi-Fi and log into ACR, we'd probably already be a half hour in. And in these PKOs, you don't really want to be super late because money comes off the table. I mean, it's ACR, so it's not like it's not going to get players, and I shouldn't be super worried about it. But I don't know. I feel like if I'm going to do something like that, it's got to be pretty ideal, because otherwise I just go play live poker somewhere. Might as well, And there's a lot more money. I shouldn't say there usually is more money at stake in the live games, because if I'm playing, not that you can't win $1,000 playing an $11 tournament. I mean, probably not in that one though. It's a 1K guarantee. So first place would probably be like, if it goes over the guarantee, $300-400 maybe. Actually, no, I shouldn't even say that because it's PKO. So first place is probably like $200. I don't know. I haven't I haven't played it. And we get moved. Vasil bet turn when flush hit and folded to my check raise. I had nothing. See, some of my notes on ACR, um, some of my notes, I think a lot of them are for cash. I shouldn't. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. But I think I made a lot of notes when I was dabbling in cash on ACR and trying to get that rake back going. But I am done with cash poker online. It is minus EV for this guy. We have not gotten much of any. We have not gotten. We have not gotten much of anything since our big hand with queens there. ACR probably. They probably heard me say that I'm contemplating leaving the site, and they gave me those queens and flopped me a set. Cause now I love ACR. So yeah, ACR. I've been having some. I've been contemplating a few things. Bet online. I've had some frustration with. Played a $7 sit and go last night and bubbled again. Probably got a little fortunate to be in the spot that I was in because I was down to like half a blind and like won like four straight pots to get back in contention. But it was one of those things where it was a spot where I think I was in the small blind with pocket sevens, and there was a big stack and three little stack. Like I was like second in chips with like 8 big blinds, and there was two like small like 4 or 5 big blind stacks, and there was a big stack that jammed, and I folded and thinking that maybe one of the other stacks would get in there. I didn't. I had sevens. And I was actually the big stack was a min click, excuse me, and I thought one of the other stacks would kind of like try to get it in, and I just get out of the way. I should have just ripped it with the sevens though, because he probably would have folded when the other small stack folded, and or I might have doubled up. But instead, or I would have picked up the blinds, which would have been and the two that he raised. So unfortunately, that didn't happen. I was kind of going for the ICM because the third place was $10, and I don't have a lot of money in bet online, and I wanted to just make sure I didn't have to deposit again. But of course, that didn't happen. We got down to 3 small stacks and 1 big stack, and it was the kind of thing where I was going around and around, and both of the other small stacks had to get it in before me, and they both won their all-ins, and it got to me, and of course I lose my all-in, and I know I can't be of this mindset, but it just seems to happen to me a lot. Stuff like that. You just bubble on a sit and go where you had it pretty much locked up. But again, I was down to like half a big blind, and I won I think 4 pots in a row to get back into second place. So I was a little bit fortunate to even be in that spot. Just gonna check the baby monitor to make sure my baby is okay. Of course she's okay. She's still moving around, playing with her stuffies. I hope she has a wonderful night's sleep. I probably will too. And I will probably question my dad abilities because I think the thing is for her that it's still light out, but bedtime doesn't change. It's still 7 o'clock is the start of bedtime, and she sees that it's still bright out, and she's like, no, it's not bedtime. And I barely ate dinner because all I wanted was popcorn and pudding pops. So I did get her to floss though. I did have to pull out the I'm throwing all your toys away card tonight. I didn't know what else to do. And honestly, I I think she just kind of missed her mom and wanted mom to put her to bed, but mom is out at her sister's house. So we called mommy before bed, and it seemed to help, although she didn't come brush her teeth right away. But hey, what are you gonna do? So we're gonna, well, for those of you that are with us, which may not really be anyone, um, Branson is live. I was just watching that guy. I was just watching him earlier. Um, I will say I probably will have to. I say have to. Um, whoop. Can I? Come on. Why? 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 Pop out the chat. Um, whoops. Whoopsie. Oh, why can't things just happen for me here? Come on. Stupid YouTube. Let's go. Click. Pop out chat. There we go. Put it up next to ACR. Let's go. Oh, for crying out loud. See, I get on tilt with the stupidest little stuff. Play and go to live. Oh, okay, that's how you do it. Play and then click the live button. I don't even really need to watch myself. I already got myself up here. And you know, it's so annoying. There's 32 people in this tournament. Where I'm second out of 32, and the other big stack is at my table. Like, get them out of there. Or switch. I'll switch. Whatever. Now we gotta. Now, like, I should have a whole. So I mean, I guess what is this, 8 max? So it's not like there aren't other players at the table. But I mean, come on. There's 4 tables there, and I gotta be at the same table with the big stack. It's ridiculous. Do better, ACR. Um, so while I have your attention, no, there may be a stream on Sunday night. I want to finish up the Rattlesnake Open on Global. Um, yeah, we talked about Bet Online. I'm almost done with Bet Online. Even though the tournaments are pretty good, like I do okay at like the rebuy add-on tourneys, I think I'm done with it for now. I'm trying to find stuff that fits to my schedule. The rebuy add-on tourney, it has a good start time, but it does run long, and um, it is kind of a, I don't know. The rebuy add-on structure, I feel like I am okay at. I do okay at like on global, but it can take long. It can be a long one, and you can sometimes invest like $20 on a $5.50 initial investment. I might like them a little better on global because the rebuys and the add-ons, you don't have the fee associated with it, so that's always nice. But yeah, Bet Online is it. You don't really get the rake back benefits you do on other sites, and I don't know. It's soft games, I think, overall. I just don't know if it's for me. Their Turbo PKO, the $11, thousand guaranteed. It starts at 840. Great structure, awesome structure. Hour late reg, but there's gonna be at least, yeah, I don't know. Maybe. See, the thing is, it's the start time. By the time it starts at 8:40, my mind is already on other things. And TJ plays poker. I mean, we could try to isolate for his if he's thinking about ripping it. Let's isolate. Let's take a shot. Let's go get a bounty. Nice. All right, let's get it. That's good. That's great. Another bounty. Yes. That's how we go get it. That's how we have to do these. Congratulations. Okay. Okay, so we got 2 bounties. We're in second out of 36. Again, Read After Me is also at the table, and we don't really need to do battle with him. We should be able to enter any pot we want. Yeah, I guess I got a fold ace-4 there because I mean, I do want to accumulate chips, but I also don't want to put a lot of chips at stake. Ow! Well, that's wicked annoying. It was probably, it probably was a call. I probably could have just jumped in the pot. I think, in order to incentivize a Frost here. Again, I don't think a bounty's really a play unless Read After Me has something like Ace King. Oh yeah. Oh, and there's a check raise. Oh my. Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, we could have just oh, don't let me go on tilt for something like that. I think that's one of those signals that the site is telling us that it is our time. Like, this is our tournament. The cards are just going to go our way. But who knows? If we were in that pot too, if we check called flop multi-way like that, maybe Frost doesn't is less incentivized to check raise, or maybe he might. Although I feel like on the turn, I'm probably the one that's going to be check raising there. I don't know. It changes the whole dynamic, and maybe he doesn't even enter the pot. See, so here's our jacks. Okay. All right. I probably made it too big. I do that. But it is a PKO. We want to get the money in. Ooh. I don't see any reason why we don't rip it here, right? Ooh. Wow. Double bounty? Maybe? Ugh. Gross. No. Yeah, see, this stuff like this happens. I mean, it's fine. We're okay. We have tons of chips. Stuff like this happens though, where we miss a golden opportunity to chip up and maybe get a bounty, and then 2 hands later we get a big hand and we roll with it. We roll with it, and we're up against kings. Jacks are just a little too wide, but again, it's a PKO, so I feel like it's okay. Like, jacks are like bottom of the bottom of that premium range, but they're worth a little bit more in this format. Oh, it's annoying. That is so. Oh, that ace-4 hand. I hope it doesn't haunt us. We still have an hour and 43 minutes of late reg, so let's settle down. Let's get back in the groove here. We're still in second place. First and third place are at our table, and there's probably 5 tables. So whatever. I assume that this guy's in third. Hmm. I think my kid finally went to sleep, so that's good. Well, we got 2 bounties, if nothing else. Frost is it? How many? Oh, okay, so they moved the big stack away from our table. That is fair. I think that is more than fair because we have like fourth and fifth place, fourth and seventh place. I mean, let's let's divvy it up a little bit. I'm the leader. I'm the bounty leader currently, for what that's worth. I've already accumulated a $1.25 in bounties. So we're halfway to our buy-in. Ace Jack suited. Feel free to like this broadcast, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Let me know what you think of PKOs and me folding ace 4 suited pre-flop. We flop middle pair and a backdoor flush draw. Backdoor straight draw. Does TJ let a free one go by? Or does he just rip it? That's pretty affordable. Okay, that's pretty good. So we can check jam this if we have to. Or he might let us get there. Okay. Yeah, I think we just get it in. I mean, he's not going anywhere, right? All right. Oh. It's too bad. Yeah, that's the problem with some of these PKOs. And that's the problem with the way I play sometimes. He kind of, like, we had 0 fold equity. I probably could have let that go, but that spade really kept me in. There wasn't, I think I need to maybe start thinking through these a little bit on the chat because he made it pretty big on the turn there. I think he made it pot size, and he only had 12 big blinds behind, so he wasn't going anywhere. We had 0 fold equity, and we had second pair. I think if we had a hand like king queen suited, it might have been a little bit more justifiable of a call with top pair, and obviously that we were sharing that ace as an out. So really, we just had spades and the other jack. We didn't have the second pair. Yeah, these are frustrating. These are frustrating. It's frustrating when you fold the nuts pre-flop and then you lose 2 big ones because you're going for bounties. Yeah, this site can be wild. I want to try not to rebuy, but I will. All right. Nope. Whiff. It's all right. Hey, we got tons of chips. We're okay. Queens or king 3. I mean, my God. I think I had more equity than king 3. Maybe not, but still. what are my analytics? Current viewers 1, 2 views. Yep. Well. I don't. Let's just go back to my channel. My channel. I apparently have 2 chats up now. We don't need 2, we just need 1. Ace 10 suited. Let's try to chip up again here. Hey, Dax in the chat. I don't love that queen, but multi-way, we don't have as much, as Bart Hansen says it, we don't have as much responsibility. We could make it, we don't have to make it big to get, to realize our equity and get players out. That 4 doesn't help. We could have used a club there or a pair. I think this might be just, we might just have to slow down. And river. Yeah, I don't know. We don't really beat much. What did he call with? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, table change definitely warranted. I mean, whenever I call 5s on the flop, I don't win. That's why raising under the gun is just such a challenge. Oh. It might be. I mean, this thing looks like it's. I mean, I'm probably. I'm spelling doomsday before it's actually happening, but this is one of those where it just doesn't feel awesome. I don't think we need to click the auto re-enter button. We'll just move all that stuff out of the way. We probably could have had another bounty. We so could have had another bounty when we flopped that flush. Dang it. Well, whatever. We are in Slow down. We are in defense mode. We got an all-in. Kings against fours, and I did not have a four. But I did have a queen. Oh, two pair. Two pair would have carried the day. Obviously, I'm not getting it in there. I felt bad too. I was in the middle of pleading with my child, arguing, yelling with my at at each other with my child, and I got a call from. I need my shed doors replaced, and sent an inquiry out to a handyman a few days ago, or an email out to it, and he called me tonight a little after 7 as I'm like yelling at my child. And I was like, "Yeah, it's a bad time. I'm trying to put my kid to bed. I'll call you. Call me tomorrow." Or then I'm like, "Well, tomorrow's Saturday, like, or Monday." And they're like, "Oh, Monday's a holiday. Or, call me Tuesday." I don't know. I gotta go. So I tried calling him back after I finally put her to bed a half hour later, but it went right to his voicemail. He's probably done working for the day. Feel bad, guys. Guy probably had a long week. Guy probably like got out of work at like 7 o'clock and needed to follow up with his clients. And I'm like over here like, what are you calling me for? I didn't say that. I was more like, hey, it's just a bad time. I don't think I was rude to him. He could. I'm sure he could hear my kid in the background. And it was one of those things like I kind of knew it was him. Like I was like, as I was like picking up and answering, I was like, oh, it's probably the handyman guy. But like he said hi and then he said hang on, and I'm like, well, what? You called me. And then he might have had to like take himself off speaker or something. I was like, hey, can you hear me? I'm like, yeah. Um, do we kind of like min 3-bet it here? Isolate. It's not a great flop, but I do have the ace of hearts, so I think we just kind of like get it in and hope he didn't. Sugar. Oh. Ace or a queen. I mean, we were ahead, right? We were ahead, but they don't care. Nobody folds flush draws. Nobody folds flushes. It doesn't matter. I mean, this isn't, regardless, this isn't a total disaster, right? We did make half our money back in bounties before we've self-destructed. So I don't know. I mean, I think we should probably rebuy if we are given that choice here. Hey, we got queens again. I'm not even messing around. I'm putting it in. They're all gonna try to scoop the bounty. So let's just hope that a big stack behind us isolates and we take it down and double up because we need those chips. No, that's okay though. We got a couple. We got a couple stacks that might go for it. Here we go. I don't think I want it multi-way. I really don't. I would like it to be heads up. Shh. Come on, no ace. Ugh. Okay. Come on, keep it clean. Deuce. Yeah. 6-9. Oh, that was good for us. We needed that. We are folding ace-10 off. We needed that. Okay, we're back in it. I don't blame you, Jose. I don't blame you for feeling like that. 6-9. 6-9 gets in there, spikes a 9 to take the side pot, and he actually made some money, got some chips back, And Jose is like, what the F? I think, I mean, Ace Jack's got to be a fold there, though. I mean, Jose Albert TV. I don't know you. That's, I mean, Ace Jack off in that spot. I mean, there's zero fold equity. You have two players all in ahead of you. You can't, I mean, going for the double bounty, I guess. I say that. I'm not trying not to like criticize and say others or I'm a better player than anybody. I just check ripped it with Ace Jack with no fold equity and a backdoor flush draw that wasn't going to get there. So again, I am just just an average poker player like everybody else. I went with the Vegas background tonight. I got a Vegas trip coming up in a month. Um, but yeah, we are going to try to stream and finish up the Global Poker Rattlesnake Open on Sunday night. We have a cookout to attend in the afternoon, but we need to be back home to give our cat her insulin and dinner and put our child to bed. So I shouldn't have a problem getting into a 7:30 p.m. start time. Uh, so we're going to do that, and then nothing next weekend because we will be in Pennsylvania starting next Saturday. So probably no more streams for a couple weeks after Sunday. But yeah, back to my never-ending quest to find the right. Oh, I gotta turn. Did I turn her air on? I turned the AC on. I mean, it's not. It's not super hot. At the next break, I gotta go check on my kid. Make sure her air is on. I mean, she'll be fine. It's not. It's warm, but she'll be okay. I think I did turn it on, but I have to make sure. So yeah, in my never-ending quest to find the right tournament schedule, it really is all on Global. Like it's there. Global does have the best structures and the best start times for me overall. I do find that 7:30 is probably my ideal like start time if I want to be able to get into a tournament early and play the whole thing. Because they do most of their late reg periods are about an hour. So if we got a late reg that ends at 8:30, the whole thing should be done no later than 11, depending on how deep it is. I did find a good $11 PKO. It does start at 7, so I could play those on nights where it is like, kid goes to bed easy. I can just kind of jump in at like 7:15. But I also found a $22 8 p.m. PKO, which is intriguing. And 22 is a little rich for me, but I got a couple $100 in there. Could try it a couple times if it's like, if it just turns out to be, if I feel like it's not working or I'm not getting the equity, I'm not getting the, I'm not getting the return on the investment, then I can drop down to the $11 ones, or not play. Like I think there's a 7:30 p.m. like bounty, like a regular bounty. I don't think it's a super bounty. I'll look it up. Well, I won't be able to actually tell because late reg is over here, so I'll have to look and see if it's posted for tomorrow. The only thing with Global, it's not a, you can stream with it. I mean, it's totally fine, but it's just not a great interface. Not that ACR is awesome, but I think it presents better when it's not like freezing, which it's gotten better since they've like refreshed and updated the website. Oh, let it go. Maybe I made it too big. Yeah, I mean, I think since ACR did their refresh, when was that, last fall maybe, where they like kind of, they didn't really do much with the interface at all except like tilt the cards a little bit, but it does seem to run better. Um, I don't think they've posted tomorrow's tourneys yet. What's tomorrow? The 25th? Maybe they have. Yeah, 7:30. The brawl. No, that's a rebuy. Well, it's Saturday tomorrow, so no. There's a six match. Yeah, it's a bounty. The El Cazador. I think that's the one where the bounty is $2 throughout the tournament. It's not a progressive, which is fine. I seem to gravitate toward the PKO, and I seem to do better with that. Probably because of the whole isolating for the bounty, and it can get bigger as it goes and all that stuff. So yeah, the Hunter, 4K guaranteed. So there'll be 200 runners. It's deep, progressive bounty. I believe it's an hour of late reg, 10-minute blinds. Yeah, they do have satellites. When do those go off? 3.3 sweeps coin, 6:45 p.m. Yeah, the satellites often occur like before it at the times I still can't play. So satellites probably won't be happening with that. We're coming up on a break here. I do have to go make sure my kid's air conditioner is on and make sure she's comfortable in bed. Um, and we are on break, so we will see you in a couple minutes. Okay. 30 seconds. 30 seconds until we're back. The baby is good. I shouldn't even call her a baby. She is 3. Um, so yeah, checking out Global's schedule. I think tomorrow might be a good day. I'm not going to stream tomorrow. At least I don't think I am. Tomorrow might be a good day to try out that 22. I shouldn't say dollar. 22 sweeps coin, PKO. That starts at 8 p.m. I got to get my laptop refreshed or back up and working because it's the last couple days it's been like super slow and I don't know what I'm doing to it. It's probably fine. I just have things running that shouldn't be. I should be like deleting a bunch of files or apps that I don't use. I probably burdened it with too much garbage. That's the thing with Global, and probably why I've been like hesitant to commit to it all the way. It's really like a bad relationship, me and poker, but it's because of the user interface. If I had to rank like desktop version, like like mobile version and tablet version, I'd have to rank like the desktop version the best. There's really no app for it. I'd say the phone version, we'll call it the mobile version. I think tablet is technically mobile too, but the phone is probably the second best. I gotta do it in in Safari and put it in landscape for it to really be effective. It's not ideal. Like I'd rather have a mouse and be able to like zone it. Like it should work fine on my tablet, but I have a cheap Android tablet that I bought last year because that I thought that ACR ACR has an app that's only good on Android, so I thought we could. I watched YouTube videos and I thought that it was basically like this interface in the Android app, but it's not. It's this really garbage, cheap app that you can't even tell like where you're ranked in the tournament. Everybody's got the same avatar. It's so not user friendly. You might as well just not play. I'd rather not play online poker at all than be on the ACR Android app, which is sad. I can't believe that it's like one of the biggest poker sites in the world and they can't do a good mobile. They don't have a good mobile app. You can play ACR on your iPhone with that instant play or whatever it is. But that's only for like blitz poker, which I'm trying not to do cash, and jackpot sit and goes, which I have like no interest in. Oh, that is an interesting turn card. So do we just let it get there or do we keep playing? I think we got to put a few more chips in so that we do get there, hopefully. Probably could have made it a little lower, a little smaller. We didn't get there, so we've got to kind of rip it. Oh, that's a snap. Fuck off. Okay, well, we're in this thing for 5. We've made 125 back, so we got some work to do. I think this will probably be the last bullet because we're buying back in for 33 bigs, and that's kind of like for me the minimum, having 30 bigs. So and I think blinds are actually about to go up, right? Because or are these 10? It's a turbo, so or no, is this 10 minutes? It's 10 minutes and then it's like 8 or 6. It goes down to like it's weird. Like after late reg, like the blind levels drop. Whoops. There we are. It's like they say not to be afraid of monsters under the bed, and anything beat me there with ace high and a bricked flush draw. But I mean, come on, queen four offsuit. Like, what am I supposed to do? I guess, I mean, obviously, check back the river is fine. It was fine there after I miss everything. I needed a 10 or a club. I mean, I guess I could have just jammed turn, but he's not going anywhere with two pair, right? These suited aces are killing me today. Whether if I fold, I flop the nuts. If I raise, I flop nothing. Turn a flush draw and turn a combo draw, and then brick out. All right. Hey, there it is. There it is. We got a royal draw. I think I'm okay with that turn. We could hit a bounty here. Yeah, we're not going to get anywhere. This guy's got nothing, I'm sure. Right? Unless he thinks we're like trying to steal it. There's just not much in the pot to fight over. Yeah. Yep. And then I flop the nuts, and then nobody has anything. I probably could have just checked back that turn since I had I have an ace, and he doesn't clearly. So, I mean, maybe he did. I don't know. Okay, so global. So, I don't know what I was talking about. My never-ending love affair with global poker. Or my love-hate relationship. Oh, yeah, the apps. Yeah, ACR is not even worth talking about. Only the desktop app really works. It'd be cool if you could just take this interface and put it on a phone. It would work. On a tablet would be even better. But yeah, global, I think the desktop app is great. The phone app is okay. I don't love playing on it, but you can. And then the tablet is just very difficult, especially when using a mouse because the bet slider doesn't work great. And on my cheap Android tablet, if I want to enter in a specific bet size, it's very difficult. The slider doesn't work great. I gotta like click up on it. You can hit the plus minus. Like, if I want to make like a 2.5x raise or a 2.5 blind raise, it's very difficult to get to that. So I don't play a lot on I don't play that side a lot on my tablet. So I got to get my laptop working so I can like play on global more often. I suppose I could go out there and buy an iPad, like a refurbished, like, you know, late model generation iPad. But I don't need more devices. You know? I just need to get my laptop working. I need to stop spending money on devices and put that money into the actual poker. I really do only have a very like short window to log in and play these tournaments because like let's say I go out in 5 minutes, it would be like 9:15. I still want to play. I still want, but there's just not a lot of. I mean, I am overlooking probably the on-demand tournaments of ACR, and I probably could multi-table and play one of those. They don't go off a lot, and they do. I mean, I mean, they're out there. This is like eight going right. Well, eight that are in late reg, and there's like another eight that are running. So they do get going, but not a lot of PKOs. Um, they did add some new buy-ins. Like they added like it looks like there's more. There's way more now that are being offered. Like they have like a $10 or an $11 um, on-demand option, a $22, which wasn't there before. Looks like they got $21 Hyper Turbo 6 Max. But yeah, the PKOs just don't get going, and I think a lot of maybe not though. Maybe they changed that. It used to be that they required 9 players to get that rolling, and I think it's only 6 now. Maybe that was a complaint. Let's raise this. Okay. This guy's very seems to be very tight. We could probably try to exploit that because we need chips. We're now in this for 2 bullets, and we need chips. Queen 10's not going to be enough to go for it. 9 on the turn, 8 on the river. No. 10. Ace King wins. Ooh, see more booty. Let's pick up something here and get it in. Well, yeah, it's too bad we're not in the blinds. We're not going to get a chance to go after this one. But stacks are dwindling a little bit. We'll have other chances, hopefully. Jack 9 versus aces. Aces win. What are you upset about? Move to another table. Oh, great. We get another trip through the blinds. Thanks, ACR. That's wonderful. Yeah, so it looks like they dropped the requirements to 6 players and 4 players to get on-demand tournaments started. So the hypers, it looks like, require 4, and all the others are pretty much all the others are turbos. They require 6 players to get started. Yeah, 9 players before. That's just like they weren't going on. They weren't running. They weren't going off. They seem to be doing that now. So maybe maybe that's it. Maybe that's my play with this site. If I do decide to reload at any point, is just to play the on-demands. I haven't been super profitable at them, but like a nice $6 no limit PKO turbo would be fine. I think I could make that work. And there's $11 ones, so maybe they won't be like a 1K max, but sorry, a 1K guarantee. But you know, we'll see how this goes. Hopefully we run it up and get things, you know, get a few more bounties. I want to play ace 9 suited. Wow. Watch my spades get there. Spades are totally coming. Nope. King. Ace king. Ooh, diamond for the win. Running queens. You jackass for the double bounty. TJ plays poker. I hate his avatar too. It's just not. That's just not my style. Out of position against him. I don't really feel like ace 5 offsuit is plus EV. Love seeing that ace, but then when it's 9 comes off to match up with it. It's not great. So late reg will be going on for another hour or so, and again, on a weekend night. This is not a. This isn't really this. This is a fine format. We do have basketball on tonight. Okay. Mavericks and the Timberwolves. Okay, Minnesota. Minnesota's back with a vengeance. Up by 15 in the second quarter. Kind of figured they'd have a letdown game 1, although I did bet on them, which was unfortunate. Yeah, that series could go 7. I hope it does. That's really the only. I should say it. The Celtics should win. They should get all the way through without much pushback. They're just so much better than everybody else, top to bottom, and with Porzingis probably coming back by the finals. I mean, it's going to be tough to beat them in a 7-game series, but I would love it if the Mavs and the Timberwolves beat each other up for a 7-game series. Minnesota is just coming off of a really tough, exhausting, emotional series against Denver, knocking off the defending champs in a really hard-fought Game 7 where they come back from like 15 at the half. Really gutsy performance. So, of course, they have the letdown in Game 1, and that might cause the series to go 7 because you got to figure Dallas will at least win one of the next 2 at home. If we assume that they lose tonight, I could easily see that game that's going 7. If the Celtics end up sweeping or winning or beating Indiana in 5 games, they get more rest. I want to say June 6th is the start date for the finals. So, I mean, if the Celtics wrap it up, I'm getting ahead of myself. If the Celtics wrap it up Monday, because they play again tomorrow, they play again Monday. Celtics wrap it up on Monday. That's May 27th. So they would have over a week and a half until they start the finals, which is just perfect. It is honestly perfect for them. They can rest up. They can make sure if they win Game 3 and they win it pretty handily, they don't have to bring back Porzingis in Game 4. I think that they were saying that was his target at this point, because originally he was supposed to be out the first 2 games, and then they evaluate. I think they just said he's out until Game 4. Game 4 is like the target, but if they were up 3-0, why rush him? Why do you need to bring him back? Unless you think, well, it's going to give some of the other guys in the team a rest, and they can kind of work him back in and make sure that they have a little bit of rhythm going into the finals. But you have a week and a half off after that. And I mean, my goodness, they're all professionals. You kind of prove you don't need him. They could probably get all the way through and win the championship without him on the court. But I mean, being able to add him and then hopefully playing against a team that's coming off a a really tough 7-game series. I mean, it's just setting up so well for them. And with all those star players going down the first couple rounds, I mean, it's there. This is it. It was kind of there for them. Yeah, maybe not last year. We won't hold that. I want to hold last year against them, but they ran into an inspired Heat team. It was kind of there for them in 2022. I think a lot of people will say, well, they weren't quite ready yet. I think they had enough mix of veteran talent on that team 2 years ago where they were up 2-1 at home with a lead in the third quarter, right? In game 4 to go up 3-1. They were up against an experienced Golden State team that kind of just found themselves at the right time. So it's tough. You can't really it was an established winning team. A winning culture. It was really a bad matchup for them in 2022. This is it though. This is your time. The time is now. The Celtics are the next dynasty. They should be, if there is going to be a next dynasty at this point. I'd love to see them win it this year, and I'd love to see Denver back there next year to kind of square off and determine who the next dynasty may be. But you know what? Minnesota's up and coming. I don't know that Dallas is cut out to be that team. I mean, I don't know what Kyrie's contract situation is. He could leave at a moment's notice, but yeah, the Timberwolves seem to be that next team, or they might be that next team too. So yeah, there's a lot of good young teams. The East is going to stay wide open, I think. The Knicks, the Cavs, they're kind of up-and-coming teams. Indiana will be better next year, but yeah, it's the Celtics conference at this point. Miami needs a reload, top to bottom. I think Jimmy Butler, people might say I'm crazy, but I think his time is kind of up, and I could see Pat Riley being sick of his heck of a player. But, guy gets hurt, he starts chirping on the bench, he starts chirping on social media, and then they don't win another game after that, after they upset the Celtics in game 2. I could see Phil Jackson. I could see Pat Riley being kind of over his antics, maybe want to move on. He's old, too. He's like 35 years old, right? Isn't he? We are the short stack at this table, so really our goal is to chip up. If we were to bust out this level, it looks like we'd have 25 bigs if we were to come back. So we could fire off another bullet, but I don't know that I'm going to. If we end up losing our stack, we might just call it. Or we might, if there's an on-demand tournament that's one player away from going off. Looks like there is a $6 PKO that has 3 players and needs 3 more. So we'll take it under advisement. But again, yeah, the PKOs don't really go off on those things. But I don't know. It's been a long week of work, so if we need to get ourselves reset here, we might take that opportunity. Just go relax and kind of unwind for the rest of the night. I should just put the game up. I should just have it up on my computer. Why not, right? TNT is becoming FedEx. What is? Yeah. Just gotta make sure that this is on mute, so I don't have any kind of like copyright infringement going on here. Oh. All right. So we got some basketball up. Luka Doncic. I like the player a lot, but he's overweight and he's hobbled. And I feel bad for him. I don't want to make it sound like he is legitimately hurt and he's playing through it, so credit where credit is due, but I think some of it is just his lack of conditioning, and his body is starting to break down. He's a young guy. He's in his mid 20s, and he should be more durable than that at this point. And I question his effort in the off season to stay in good condition, good physical condition, so that he can avoid those injuries. So again, I don't want to fat shame him or anything, but like, you know, you don't have to have a beer before the game, you know. I'm not saying the guy goes out there and gets hammered. I think those European guys. I want to say he was. Someone posted a picture of him on social media out before a game, like having lunch, having a pint, which I guess a lot of European players will do that. It's less of an American thing. So we're very uptight about alcohol, but yet love it so much. It is such a weird dichotomy and a weird relationship that Americans have with alcohol, where we have so many laws to regulate it, and it does have such a negative stigma attached to it, rightfully so. I haven't drank any alcohol in almost 3 years, but we do have such a negative image of it, and we do our best, we do our best to take it out of physical activity. I mean, unless you're in a Sunday morning beer league or doing some kind of like beer run, you don't really see a lot of people that like will have a drink and then go out and do any kind of physical activity. That's usually for after the fact. But I don't know. I guess Europeans will often lube up with a brewski and then go out and play a 90-minute soccer game or go shoot hoops or whatever the case may be. But yeah, Americans, we love it and we hate it. Like we regulate it, we make laws against it, we attach a negative stigma to it, but yet how dare you speak ill of it and want to take it away, or God forbid anybody wants to actually quit drinking. That's another story for another time. Oh boy. Well, we can't just not raise this, right? Big stack in the big blind. We flop a boat. Look at us. We can check that back and just hope another 8 doesn't come out. I don't know what he would have that. I think we just call here. That could be a nice card for us on the river. I mean, we do have all the aces, but it's not. I mean, the flush gets there. It's a good bluff card for him if he has anything. I think we just go small and hope we get a crying call, and we do not. So I guess it wasn't a great bluff card for him. If it was like a 10 of diamonds, maybe that would be something he'd be more apt to bet with. King 10's like the worst Broadway combo, but okay, that's probably ideal. Rudy Gobert is kind of an overrated stiff, I think. I don't watch a lot of his games. He's an excellent defensive player, but I mean, he wins like Defensive Player of the Year every year, but he has no offensive game. I think his skill set is just so um, what's the word? Rep, rep, not easy to replicate. Like this, I feel like there's a dozen guys like him. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. And I think having him matched up or paired up with Carl Anthony Towns is absolutely huge. He's actually like the perfect complement for him as far as a team with a big front court like that is concerned. But I just don't like watching him play. I don't think he's that good. But they made it this far. Kyrie kicking his leg out on a 3-pointer. I mean, that's a foul on Kyrie, right? Yeah. Oh, a Broadway combo. Let's see a flop. We can get a bounty if we flop well. We do flop pretty well. Let's see if he continues. Like to see like maybe a deuce of spades on the turn, but it feels kind of weak. I don't know if we just rip it. If we like check raise, I mean, if we make it 8. I don't think he, I mean, yeah. I didn't think he had much to continue with there. Probably ace queen or ace king or something. We had the queen of spades. I say we just take it down there because our hand kind of needs a little protection. Here we go, the suited ace again. Probably flop a flush. Flop a gut shot, though. We have ace high. Dallas got it to 12 at the half. Do we win with ace high? We don't win with ace high. There was that board was just a little bit weird with multi-way to really like try to steal. We would have gotten it through had we stabbed at it on the river, but I don't know. Ace King Santiago's got a lot of chips, and he might have just called with ace high. So, oh, 8-10 at this stack depth is not great. It is. I mean, I guess this tournament doesn't. It gets plenty of entries, but not a ton of runners at any one point. So we're in 30th out of 43. 14 get paid. Still got just under 40 minutes of late reg. If we can find a double up here, we'll be in very good shape. Obviously, we want to get another bounty. People always slow up driving by my house. It's so weird. Yeah, I was just looking at the that final table I made on Bet Online, that rebuy add-on tourney. It starts at 7:25, which is a great start time for me, but the stream took 4 hours and 20 minutes, which would mean that it ended at like quarter of midnight on a Thursday. And then I went and played poker the next day, I think at Encore, and I was just gassed. Like I can't play 4-hour tournaments on weeknights. I need turbos. I need a nice 2 to 3 hour tournament. Which, if you wanna if you wanna be like a regular tournament poker player, like online tournament poker, a 2 to 3 hour time window is just not enough. You're gonna end up going over that or stressing yourself out trying to find those shorter games, or you're going to end up like playing in games that you're not comfortable in but like fit your time schedule, like hypers or something, you know. And so yeah, just might need to just reevaluate it. Might need to reevaluate that, I guess. I don't know. Um, for those of you joining us, we're on our second bullet. We did win a couple bounties on the first one. Did I win 2, maybe 3 bounties? I won $1.25 worth of bounties, but then it met some unfortunate runouts. Hmm. I'd like to win another hand. Yeah. We don't need to waste anybody's time here. Yeah, we've been live for an hour and a half. We got a fair amount of, we got some decent enough content, I suppose. We're now under 20 bigs. But we got some free hands coming up. And I think they've already we've already reset the blinds here, right? Hopefully I don't have less than 19 big blinds. That would be unfortunate. Let's see. No, okay. So we got some free hands here, and 9 minutes until the next blinds go up. It would be really cool if sometime over the next few hands we got something we could play with. We actually, by default, will have the button 2 hands in a row, right? Dead small. Mm. King Jack suited. I don't know that it's strong enough to just rip. I think we can enter the pot, but I mean, we only have, our bounty's only 50 cents, so it's not like everybody's just going to come running for it. But we do have to be, we just do have to be mindful of the format we're in. 2 overcards, no backdoor flush, got shot straight. We could take a free card here, I think, multi-way. See if something helps us. Yeah. That's a weird lead there. I mean, I don't know. Like, if we hit a... Not all of our outs are good, I don't think. I don't think a king is good. A jack probably isn't with the way that board is. So if we hit, like, an... Yeah. All right. There's only one big, but we don't have a lot of bigs. So... How's that on-demand tourney looking? We we have $9.26 in our account, and there's like a $10 no limit $11 no limit game that just launched. So unless we get a couple more bounties here, we won't be able to enter that. They do have PLO high low. I played one of those. I played one of those a couple weeks ago, I think, or 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I liked it. I forget if it was it for a bounty? I don't think it was for a bounty. I did play an on-demand PLO high-low, and it was kind of fun. I don't know that I went that deep in it. Or maybe I did. I think I made a few bucks. Actually, for the first like half hour, I totally forgot. Thanks, Dak, for noticing that I'm hanging in, but it is on the second bullet. Um, I think for the first half hour, I forgot it was high-low and was just playing high, like playing the boards as if it was high. I was like, why are there all these split pots? I can't figure it out. And then I realized, oh, it's because it's high-low. Um, and then once I realized it was high-low, I think I played a little bit better because, hands with aces are like gold in those games. I mean, I guess we could try one. I don't know if there's any that are like about to go off. Like I really don't like late, like super late regging or max late regging in those on-demand tournaments. Really, like the first 3 levels is where you want to be. Ideally, from the beginning. I just like traditionally. I just like entering a tournament from the start. That's just me. That's just my preference. Not even necessarily that I think I have an edge on the field, although I do think I'm a good player. I don't know. Well, maybe because when I've been playing poker for now 21 years. For the first 10 or 15 years of that, the tourney structure was such that your stack is getting blinded off if you late reg, like all the way to the end of the late reg period. This is during live poker, but it's been more of a recent development, I think. I mean, it all depends on the room you're playing in or the casino. But I think now, and maybe it's to encourage more players to jump into tournaments. If you late reg now, you start with a full stack. And I want to say it was either my first or second stint dealing up in New Hampshire. I want to say it was the first stack where the first stack. It might have been the first time through. You get the I want to say I heard a player complaining to the poker room manager that according to like state law, because New Hampshire's weird and it's all like everything is like written out by law, where other casinos can kind of like run their own thing. I don't know. I'm butchering the assessment of that, but in New Hampshire, the rooms are pretty heavily regulated in my experience, and I've never worked at a casino outside of New Hampshire, so I don't really know. But everything about the games, especially tournaments, is all delineated and spelled out by the law. So I think a player or two or more were like complaining that they were getting blinded off, and that when they late regged, and the manager kind of pushed back, but finally I think they kind of had to give in to that and start with full stacks. And it was disputed a little bit, and they had to post it on like the back wall of announcements, and so they had to obviously change how things were, change procedures and protocols on how that was all managed. But I think it is more of a recent thing that you don't get blinded off. In live games, you start with a full stack, which you do online too. I don't think there was ever a time in the history of online poker where you would get blinded off. You just start with a full stack. Oh, I hate when I get myself in these dumb spots. Now this guy's going to jam. No? I mean, he's got to be pretty strong, right? But we do have him out chipped. And it is a bounty. Is it too wide? It's probably too wide. I think we could call. Yeah, shut up. Yeah. Oh, you. I don't think this is our night, fellas. That's too bad. I should have known when he threw the poop emoji at himself that something was up. If I rip it pre, he might have actually folded. We might have been able to take down. We might have been able to win a pot we really needed there. We might have been able to pick up 7 big blinds without seeing a flop. That is too bad. Yeah, that's really too bad. Yeah, but I have always wanted to get into poker tournaments right when they start or soon after. I just get a real, like, it just annoys me when, like, you read online about players, like, the players will complain that late reg isn't long enough. Like, I can't get there. I work until 8. I can't get there until 8:30. It's like, well, then don't play. Tournament starts at 7. I think I think for live tourneys, 1 hour of late reg or like end of the first break, which sometimes is like somewhere between an hour and 2 hours. I think that's fine. That's plenty of time. If the tournament starts at 7 o'clock, get there for 7. If you can't get there, then you can't play. Or if you do get there, if you get there an hour later and it's the end of late reg, you have nothing to complain about. You know that. But players will find anything to complain about. And then, like, a problem with like New Hampshire poker is the casinos aren't open all night. The poker rooms aren't open all evening, and they really aren't in casinos these days either. Except Encore's maybe the only 24-hour spot around here, but they're at least open until like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And a lot of them don't run tournaments that start at night anymore like they used to. Boxwoods used to just run them. You know, they'd have like 10 o'clock start times at night sometimes. Oh, here's our spot. But yeah, I just then you got like poker room like managers and floor people who like or tournament directors who are posting on Facebook sites like, I need ideas for my tournament to not run until midnight so that we have to like chop the pot. And then it's like, well, shorten the late reg period. Well, yeah, but all right, let's go. Come on. Yes, set of 10s, 100%. All right, we needed that. Full house. We're hanging in there. Yeah, there was this one guy who, this was probably like 5 years ago. We do have another break. Yeah, this one guy like 5 years ago was running tournaments up in Manchester or somewhere up in New Hampshire, and he's posting like, I need ideas to have my tournaments not run so late that we have to like chop the pot. And I'm like, well, you need a shorter late reg period. The tournament starts at like 5:30 and you have late reg going until like 9 p.m. or whatever. And he's like, well, I know of like, I want to get as many players in as possible, and I know some people who can't make it until a certain time. And it's like, okay, first of all, you ask the group for feedback on how to shorten the tournament so that it doesn't run till all hours of the night and you have to chop it. I'm giving you a valid method or a valid approach to doing that, a valid solution to your problem. And you're over here couching it, or you're over here just saying or being argumentative about it. It's like, well, listen, if you can't get to the tournament by a certain time, if the tournament starts at 7 and you can't get there for 7, tough shit. Tough shit. We can't please everybody. And then he's like, well, if we don't have enough players, then the tournament won't be as popular and it will die out. It's like, well, then it sounds like you have a few problems on your hand that you need to address, and you don't have a very good tournament then. If if the only two outcomes are it goes too late, so you got to chop it up, or you don't get enough runners, so it's not interesting enough, and it's just eventually gonna die out. Well, then I don't know what to tell you. You probably just don't have a good tournament, or I get it. New Hampshire poker rooms are a little bit. They're a little they. It's gotten a little bit better. I think they can open earlier now, and they might even be able to stay open a little bit later on Fridays and Saturdays. But I get it. They're a little bit handcuffed. They can't stay open all night because it's charitable gaming, and it's they just don't want that. They don't want 24-hour casinos, which is fine. But then don't run tournaments, and they don't run as many now. It's just not as big of a moneymaker for the rooms. So yeah, that stuff like that just kind of runs up my backside. You can't please everybody. I know you want to get as many people as possible, but if it's at the detriment, if it's at the detriment of the tournament, like you can't play it from both sides. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to pick it. You got to pick something and stick with it. And if 5 people who regularly play it get shut out because they get out of work late and they can't get there on time, or they hit some traffic, that's life, man. They can go play a cash game. It's fine. And I know you get the old people who are on a fixed budget, and they only, they don't want to. They have $100 that they can play that weekend, and they want to use it on a tournament, and they don't want to just take that. If they don't get to the tournament in time, they're not going to take that 100 over to a cash game because it's not enough of a buy-in, and they don't like whatever. Or, you get some 22-year-olds who don't have a huge bankroll, who maybe just microstake online, and they might only want to play with $80 because that's all they want to risk because they got to pay rent. I get it. People like that out there. I don't think tournaments are designed for live poker. I know that they were a very popular form of poker for a very long time. That's how the poker boom. That's how the poker room hit. That's how it grew. That's the game so fast, so quickly back 20 years ago was tournament poker, and being able to watch it on ESPN. I get it. Tournament poker is probably a more entertaining to watch. I mean, we watch cash games now. We watch cash streams. We have better technology where we can see the cards as they're happening. Tournaments are very good for like edited, repackaged material content that you could put out there in like a 1-hour special, and you can tell a story. There's really no narrative when it comes to cash poker. There can be, but you don't have that. There's no built-in like guaranteed like, okay, here's the end game. It's probably better suited, like cash games are better suited for a live broadcast, where tournament poker you can actually edit down and tell a story and have a winner at the end. Just there's always going to be one. I mean, yeah, of course you could chop it, but I don't think in the live TV broadcast they allow that, like on the featured table, or if it's like a World Series of Poker event that's going on ESPN, they or Poker Go now, I guess, probably won't allow too many chops, or you can chop it kind of behind the scenes, but you got to play it out. And I think players do that. They play for the bracelet anyway, but yeah, I think I always thought that tournament poker, in general, is just really meant for online nowadays. I still will allow for the big events like the WPT or the World Series. Yeah, those big buy-ins, big guarantees, big fields. Those should still happen, but like those daily tournaments, those daily like $60, $80 tournaments that you see on the Vegas Strip, where like 15, 20 years ago, every poker room on the Strip, well, every casino on the Strip had a poker room, and every poker room on the Strip had daily tournaments, at least like four of them. But so many of them were just so tired. You get the same 10 people. And I played a bunch of them. I don't want to make it sound like I was a regular in them or anything. I'd go to Vegas once every couple of years. Oh no. Our ace. What a flop and what a turn. And then our club gets there. We have the ace of clubs. Watch it be no good. No, it was way good. Oh, yeah. Um, yeah, so we're hanging in there. We still have 15 minutes left to late reg. So, what was I saying? Yeah, tournaments, I think they're just better suited for online. And we don't have anything, so we'll fold. But yeah, those old daily tournaments, and they still happen. They still are out there in Vegas. But I remember playing one at Harrah's one time, probably like 10 years ago, and just being like, ugh. Like I want to say I went to Vegas twice in one year in like 2014. The first time I was going to go, my brother and sister-in-law just moved out there, and we were going to go visit. But they had to come back because her mother, my sister-in-law's mother, had passed away like the week that we were going out there to visit. I'm gonna rip it, and let's keep our fingers crossed. I think we'll probably get a call. I don't think we want two calls here. I mean, it'd be great if we could get a bounty. Short time bank, do something. Nah, he's folding. Up against jacks. Come on, we need the big one. We need it. This was a frustrating one. This was a frustrating one tonight. We are not going to re-enter. We started off real strong with a full double up with queens, and just kind of missed an opportunity flopping a flush when we would have flopped a flush had we just called pre, and then it just sort of spiraled that we had jacks up against kings, had fired off a second bullet, and it didn't quite happen for us tonight. So we'll be back Sunday. We're gonna call it a night tonight. Sunday around 7:30 start time. So make sure you join us. Until then, don't get mad, get even.